Hi, this is Sarah Hotchkiss from Catalyst Wellness Coaching. I spend much of my time and content dedicated to communicating to you about what works for long-term and sustainable health and weight loss. But what we haven't talked about yet is what doesn't work. What I'd like to do is switch gears and share with you over 2 years of data that I have gathered from actual clients I have worked with who have come in to lose weight or reverse their autoimmune or GI conditions on what they report that they have tried that has absolutely not worked. Common approach I hear from people that does not work long term is keto or low carb. So generally this just isn't sustainable for most people long term. Your calories can get really high on this potentially because the fat is so high, and fat has 9 calories per gram versus protein and carbohydrates having 4 calories per gram. So the food is more calorie dense. It can impact your thyroid and hormone health for women in particular. I also see that when people are doing keto or low carb, that they would do what we call dirty keto, and they're eating a lot more processed foods, a lot more fake sugars, which the body can't process, and that can cause additional autoimmune and GI issues. Another approach I hear from clients that's not long-term sustainable is a no sugar or low sugar diet. Now, while I don't recommend lots of sugar in your diet, I often work with people on adding pure maple syrup or raw honey when they want a little bit of sweetness. I stay away from sugar substitutes because those are non-nutritive and they often cause GI issues. And when you're eating sweet things all day that aren't real sugar, it really doesn't reduce your cravings for more sugar, so that just makes you want more. Significant calorie restriction is often also not sustainable for people over a long period of time. Eating restricted calories over a long period of time can reduce your metabolism, so then you go off and you start eating more calories, and the minute you eat more, then you gain weight. It can mess with your hormones, and often if you are not eating enough food during the course of a day, you're not getting enough nutrition, enough vitamins, enough minerals, and that can impact your health long term as well. I work with many clients who have been vegan or vegetarian for many years. This is often not sustainable because it causes some long-term health issues as well. A lot of times a vegan or vegetarian diet can end up being very high fat and very high carb and low protein, and that honestly is a recipe for nutritional deficiencies and weight gain. You're all going to be super confused when you see this slide because you think that buying healthy food is probably a great recipe for health and wellness. If I buy the healthy food, then thus I will eat it and then I will be healthy. But what I see on a regular basis is that people are buying healthy foods without a plan to use them. So then they end up throwing them away, and then there's some frustration of not eating the healthy foods and then losing money to boot. So what you need to do is be able to plan your meals first, then shop and get only the foods you need for those meals, cook, eat, and repeat the next week. I see a wide range of people that have come in and tried many diet programs, I would say, a couple listed here. Those are really not sustainable both financially and really from a health perspective as well, unless it's something you can commit to it lifelong. But a lot of these programs preach caloric restrictiveness and meal replacement shakes and not as much nutrition value, and so that's my issue with that. And so then long term that can be an issue as well. This one might seem obvious, but I have a lot of people who've had a history of being on some diet pills. Some are over the counter, some are actual prescription. And believe it or not, you can get a prescription for diet pills from your doctor. These are not a long-term solution or sustainable also. They can cause a variety of symptoms like rapid heartbeat, nausea, vomiting, low blood pressure, high blood pressure, suicidal thoughts, thyroid tumors, headaches, constipation, seizures, liver issues, dizziness. The list goes on. The other issue that I have with this as a mental health professional is that many of these diet pills interact with common anxiety and depression medication that a lot of my clients are on. Seems like there's multiple options for people to go get these weight loss shakes at local places, and I think long term these are not sustainable either, weight loss shakes. They really aren't meant to be a meal. They have a lot of artificial sweeteners in it, artificial colors. They're really not real food. A lot of them lack the fiber that you need to be able to properly digest. And honestly, they're costly. A lot of people grab an energy drink because they don't have time to eat, or they didn't prep something ahead and they just want to get the energy from food but not eat the actual food. So energy drinks long term are not sustainable for weight loss and definitely not for improving your health. They have a lot of artificial sweeteners or actual sugar and just a lot of it, way too much of both, way too much caffeine that can cause a myriad of health issues. And like I said, they're not real food and they're not sustained energy. So a lot of times people will have a energy drink and then 2 hours later they crash. It's essentially a quick fix that doesn't work. Laxatives, over the counter or prescription, are really just a temporary fix for bloating or bowel issues. They're not really a long-term weight loss solution. When you do extra cardio, I have a lot of people that are doing this, saying I'm running more, I'm trying to bike more, I'm trying to work out more. When you're doing extra cardio in particular, I'm not even talking about weight training, you are only burning calories while you are working out. You're not building muscle, which can increase your metabolism. And the biggest issue I see is that people overestimate their calories burned when they're on a machine. So when you are, let's say, jogging or walking on a treadmill for an hour, you may burn 250 or 300 calories. And I hear people say at the gym a lot too, like, well, I'm burning off the pizza that I'm going to have tonight. But the math just doesn't work out. You will burn 250 calories on the treadmill, and then you'll eat 1,200 calories of pizza that night. And then you do that kind of over and over again, and that does not get you the results that you want. So I honestly work out 6 days a week. I think it's great, and so I'm not going to tell anybody to, to work out less unless you're really overdoing it. So fitness is great, but really it's only about 20% of the equation, depending on your goals. Your food and your solid supplements are the other 70 to 80%, along with stress and sleep and some other pieces. So moving your body is great to reduce stress, to build muscle, to decrease anxiety, to increase mobility, so you're decreasing your risk of injury, but it does not work to lose weight. Look at all these beautiful, fancy kitchen gadgets. Buying fancy choppers, your Instapot, your air fryer, and even your journals to write down your stuff, your knives, your garlic presses. Really none of these things on this picture are needed to lose weight or improve your health. They are really costly and they're just short-term motivators, because you think, just like the healthy food you buy that you don't use, people end up buying these fancy kitchen gadgets and then long-term they gather dust and you don't use them. So if you'd like to work with me to find out what does work for your body, all of my nutrition plans are set up for the individual. So I do something a little bit different with everybody, a couple different package options. You can text me, you can email me, or you can visit my website at www.catalystwellnesscoaching.com.